Blake Glover and the Time Bandit, a short story. Blake has a deep dislike for the days the clocks leap forward. As a man who finds going to sleep a challenge and rising likewise, the missing hour feels personal. A thief in the night whipping it away, rubbing salt into the wound by leaving the ancient wind-up clock to tell a lie, while the mobile phone on his bedside cabinet is the traitor that swallows the hour whole. As the mobile's alarm tries to cut through the fog that clouds Blake's head, rain blasts his bedroom window. The howl of wind competing on volume with the digital alert. Blake, eyes still shut, wonders if he could track down the time thief, wrestle the nicked hour from the bandit's swag bag, and place it back into his life. After all, he used to be a policeman. Surely finding that hour would be a cakewalk for a 30-year veteran of the streets of Glasgow. But what if the hour had already been fenced by the Time Bandit? Maybe divided into 60 valuable minutes to be sold under counters across the land to the needy or the selfish. What could someone do with one of those stolen minutes? Divide it up again and set up shop as a purveyor of filched seconds? Who would buy them? What could be done with such marvellous minutiae? Blake thinks on the times that he said or done the wrong thing. His mouth ahead of his brain, his actions too impulsive. Of what life would be like if he was able to use those stolen seconds to take words or deeds back, to erase moments from his history. The time he told his girlfriend that he knew she was cheating on him when she wasn't. The burst of road rage when he flipped the finger at a driver who turned out to be the station's new chief inspector. Saying no when he should have said yes, and yes when he should have said maybe. What could be rubbed out with those erasers of time, and what could be scribbled in instead? Think on what could be changed. The driver of JFK's limo slamming on the brakes just before Oswald pulled the trigger. The briefcase bomb moved a few feet closer to Hitler. The Titanic's wheel turned earlier to allow it to sail past the iceberg untouched. But what if the seconds were used by the malevolent of this world instead? A knife that missed a vital organ didn't. A casting vote wasn't. A hand that plucked another from the path of a careering car couldn't. How much would someone pay for such seconds? 3,600 of them available every year. Would there be an online auction? A global event where the winning bids could secure those precious parcels of time? Of course, the rich would win the lottery, wouldn't they? Billionaires outbidding each other to take ownership of those troops of ticks and talks. To do what if they could change the past? Cripple the competition? Bash out new business deals? Make more money? Or would governments step in? The good of mankind in their actions? Going back in time to put the COVID genie back in the bottle? Stepping in before war erupted? Catching killers ahead of their dirty deeds? Or would states use them for more nefarious purposes, to advance their own political agendas, personal vendettas settled, hidden ideologies to the fore? Could someone take ownership of that hour? Steal the whole damn thing? Use it to blackmail the planet? What price would be paid to the owner, a person who could change history on a whim? Would the stolen hour birth that evil genius of 1,000 movies, the one bent on world domination? Ming the Merciless, Hugo Drax, General Zod? Only this person would be no cartoon villain. Instead, becoming the ultimate manifestation of Lord Acton's words. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Then the question would be, who would rescue humanity from such a person? Who would be our Flash Gordon, our James Bond, our Superman? Blake wonders if that might be him. Could he be a protector of such enormity, stealing that hour back from the supervillain? Blake, the ordinary Joe, taking on the mantle of saviour of humanity. T-shirts printed, book deals struck, movies made, all emblazed with Blake Glover, S.O.H. Blake shakes the thoughts away and takes a deep breath. In the living room, the CB radio he pulled from his taxi last night bursts into life. The voice of Doddy Robertson, the owner of the least reliable taxi company in Fraserburgh, crackles through the mushed up speaker in a whiskey-laden growl. "Blake, where the f*** are you?" And Blake realises that if he could afford to buy some of those wonderful seconds, he'd buy 60 of them. But not to make some world-shattering changes to the past. No, he'd use them for something far more important. Once the transaction was complete, he would lie back on his pillow, close his eyes, and enjoy the perfect. The nothing. The absence of all. A single moment of peace. Just one more minute in bed. The Fracture is the second book in the Blake Glover series and is out now. And if you want more on authors, more short stories, more interviews with other authors, you can jump across to Substack, where you can look up Crying Out Loud with Morgan Cry and subscribe. Thank you.